All right, we're back, 7:19 on this Thursday morning. Welcome to the show. I'm Brian Glenn. This is DFW Business Today. You can always join the conversation. I had someone do it just a few minutes ago. Reach out to us on 620 AM KEXP on our Facebook page or hit us up on Twitter at DFW Biz Today.
And it's not the first time you said that. It won't be the last.
It's not, and it probably won't be the last. You're absolutely right. I want to bring in our first guest of the hour, Ernesto Miranda and Kari Walker. They're from Walker+MIRANDA Design Studio right here in North Texas. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for coming back. I was the first time I thought, Ernesto's not going to come back. He's not going to come back on this show. I'm kidding. If you're not familiar with what you guys do, you guys are a design studio. You kind of a boutique style business that you guys develop and design office space and buildings.
Correct.
Yeah, let's go into a little bit of that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, a multitude of all different types of projects, commercial office, multifamily, restaurants. We're currently working on a hospitality hotel project here in Dallas. A variety of different projects throughout the United States that we've worked on.
Yeah. Business is good, right?
Business is good.
Yeah. A lot of cranes.
We like cranes.
Yeah.
We love cranes.
Cranes are our favorite.
Years ago, I met a guy who was in the crane rental business up in the D.C., Baltimore area. And he's
loaded.
Yeah, he was loaded. But I will say this, though. Then I ran into him again. I communicated with him like 6 years later when some of the business subsided. And he was
not so happy.
No, not so happy. But everything is happy here. Let's talk about what have you seen, Kari, the last 3 years?
Yeah, just a lot of building. It's really trending back towards where we were before, a lot of supply. But the demand does still seem to be there. So there's still people starting projects, which is great for us.
What are they into building now? Like what is it the multi-use? Like if you have a piece of property, you want to combine residential, commercial, retail?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, originally a lot of people don't know this, but the Greeks actually invented multi-use and multifamily way back then underneath the Acropolis, because that's really what it was. It was the hub of that particular
history lesson
neighborhood and the way they used that land. And that's what's happening right now with a lot of developers. For them, the biggest challenge is just finding that space to develop a variety of different types of businesses, especially now with millennials. Everybody wants to work close to where or living close to where they're working. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, just that whole live, work, play scenario.
I like the play part.
Yeah, I love the play part. Yeah.
Work park.
I love living around all of that. Yeah. I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah. It provides a great energy.
It does.
I think, in your environment that makes it, exciting.
Yeah. The latest one that I just off the top of my head was the Whole Foods.
Yes.
On McKinney. Yeah, that's probably near you, right?
I mean, probably every other day.
Yeah. But I'm trying to remember what was there before. I just don't. You kind of lose your memory.
I don't know, because since I've lived here, it's been in the process of being built. So
I don't know.
It was a parking lot, I think.
Yeah, I mean, but it's amazing how that transforms that whole area. And then across the street from that, and next to the Fat Rabbit, is another kind of. Is that multi-use? Or is it strictly residential?
Those are going to be really nice condos.
Yeah, I think they are condos.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if the funding for these multi-purpose builds, or is it easier to get if you say, hey, we're going to have a commercial and a residential aspect to all of this? I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud, because I know I was asking someone about why is there so many medical buildings popping up in McKinney, where I live. And the answer was because it's easier to get funding to build a medical-based business with senior living, senior care, because that is one Baby segment. It's just, it's going. Yeah. So banks are more likely to lend to those types of ventures. I'm just thinking maybe that might be with this case. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it also matters with what the track record of that particular developer has already done and where they're going. There's a variety of different locations right now that are popping up with that kind of urban feel to it. Heading up towards McKinney, Allen, Plano hasn't really done it too much, but they're kind of landlocked in the way they've kind of developed things. But definitely you see it in McKinney up in the area where they've got the Pizza Hut Stadium, and all of that is really being developed towards
Frisco.
that. Yeah, Frisco. That's another great location.
What's some of the feedback that you get? Like, I know Maddie Lou and I are telling you, hey, we love it. We kind of like having this. But what's? I mean, you're the design people. What are you hearing from the residents to the business owners? What are you hearing?
Yeah, definitely that trend towards urbanization. So, which I think is what makes these projects work. Of kind of combining all the different aspects of your life together. That's what people really want. That's where the demand is.
Yeah, and I also think like the right type of commercial tenants are really important.
Who do you look for?
Well, Legacy is a good example of that. They've done such a great job of mixing, both the casual type of restaurant all the way up to the more upscale restaurant, as well as the same thing with the retail. Both, it covers really all the different type of economic demographics that you're going to encounter in those areas, from people who are just out of college, being able to afford an apartment in that location, as well as single, really well-established professionals who like that urban feel that can, hey, I don't want to cook today. I can go down and have a great, meal over at Sugar, and then go have some drinks.
That'd be nice.
With a couple friends. And you don't even have to worry about
Wasn't
driving.
like that when I grew up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I had to go cook my own stuff. Okay, and before the show, we were talking a little bit about some of what goes, I guess, the thought process that goes into designing or remodeling a hotel or a building. And you guys take it down from everything from the plants to the colors to the textures to the materials. I mean, you go through everything.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. I mean, that's just really any design professional does that. As soon as you walk into a space, we're already looking at what the previous designer did. It's just a habit. For some reason, we just kind of go through all those things and analyze them that way.
For some reason, Maddie Leo, I don't want any one of these individuals in my house because I feel like they're going to walk through and go, yeah, I probably wouldn't have put that couch right there.
Yeah, they might do that in mine right now, too. Like, how much can you put in one bedroom apartment?
Where is the line for hoarding?
Where's the limit?
Right. Like, how many clothes do you need?
A lot.
No,
a lot.
A lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need them all in your, banquette that your TV sits on?
Closet and shoe space is at a premium.
I was going to say.
Especially in the newer units.
Yes.
Right.
Apartment units, the closet space is small.
It's so small
Yeah.
because I almost moved from my current apartment now when my lease ended, and I was touring all these places, and I was like, I'm not getting more. I'm losing closet space, and I can't lose any.
So
closet
are you
space
seeing that?
now.
This is
It's trending again because people are spending less time in their own space. If they're eating dinner outside, in a restaurant, then they're not. Most millennials don't really cook.
So the cabinets in the kitchen may be smaller. The cupboard.
Yeah, I mean,
Pantry.
your overall square footage of a kitchen is going to be smaller.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is interesting.
It is.
Of course, I've always said with the next house that I go into, I don't really care about the inside living space. I'm more about an outdoor patio. I'm an outdoor living guy.
Yeah.
So I can I didn't care if my whole house is, I do, the size of the studio. But what I'm saying is I'd rather give up the space for outside. Yeah. So for these mixed use properties, spaces get a little smaller, right?
Yeah, the individual living spaces get smaller. That's where the amenities really come into play. So within each apartment building, you have a club room or a business center or conference room, those spaces are really trending more towards that hospitality kind of feel. So you're getting a lot of different types of uses within one space, almost like a Starbucks. Yeah. But on a bigger scale.
So when you guys get called to do a project and you do your first walkthrough, are you just going over everything? Are you do an initial walkthrough even before you meet with them, or just to kind of get your own opinions before they tell you what they want? Or
yeah, I think typically, when we start doing that walkthrough with a client, I know both of us go through this almost the identical way, where we're not only asking questions about what the requirements are going to be and what they're trying to achieve in regards to remodeling that particular space to upgrade the amenities in those particular locations, as well as looking at all available finishes and what we can use, what we can't, what can repurpose, those kind of aspects of it. Wouldn't you say, Kari?
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. All right, we're hanging out with Ernesto Miranda and Kari Walker with Miranda Design Studio. We got to take a break. We'll come back. I've got a couple questions on Facebook. A little notification just popped up. I'm gonna check that. When we'll get into that. Plus, what is all this Pokemon stuff going on? And can a business profit from incorporating this Pokemon into your marketing strategies? We'll take a look at that. Plus, what states are the workers the most pissed off about their jobs? It's not here. I'll tell you right now. It's not here. Not right now. It is 7:30. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Hanging out this morning with Maddie Lou Chandler from Fox Sports Outkick the Coverage. Good morning. Great job, by the way, last week.
Thank you.
Filling in for me. I was streaming you live from my hotel at the Regency Hyatt in Austin. Love it. Good job that you and
thank you. It was. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little nerve-wracking at first because I've never completely hosted on my own. I've always co-hosted.
And I remember the first time I sat in this chair and the microphone's on and you go, okay, I've got 2 hours to fill, and what am I going to talk about? You had Debbie Saviano, which is a great person, and you had your other... And
I had Adam Dykes in here, who is wonderful. And they were helpful, and we talked lots about social media, and it was really good.
It's fun. Good stuff. Great job. And I want to have, believe me, I have some vacations coming up, and I'm gonna see if I can convince you to come back.
I am here
and fill in the seat. But we are talking with Ernesto Miranda and Kari Walker with Walker Miranda Design Studio, and we've had some great conversations in the break, actually talking about some wonderful places around here in Dallas. And it seems like the theme of all the places that the four of us like have an outdoor experience.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is extremely important. I mean, we were just talking about the whole McKinney Avenue with how vibrant that street is during certain months. And it's continuous, especially with the patio action going on. And now, even though it is hot, just the way we're able to create those open spaces and patio areas with misters and fans, it's not so devastating to feeling like you're in the middle of hell.
Yeah, and a couple Jack and Cokes help out as well.
That's right.
Yeah, sometimes.
They do.
But that is a trend that you're seeing. I mean, obviously, they want to take the experience outside, and despite what kind of weather we might have here in North Texas, there's always, even in the wintertime, throw some heaters out there, right?
Yeah.
It works.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You're seeing also, we were going back to what you had talked about earlier regarding the multifamily, is those open spaces. That's the exact same thing. The difference in the way we kind of handle the architectural buildings and create those pathways and just keep it interesting for whoever's in that particular location.
Yeah, and really even connecting those two, the indoor-outdoor spaces together. So using lots of, nano-type wall systems where that inside space almost feels like it can be outside.
Hang on just a second, Maddie. They're way smarter than you and I are.
Yeah.
This is. Yeah. I'm learning so much here.
Just give me my patio.
Yeah. Okay, let's get really into design here. As I put my design voice on.
Yeah, I mean, some of it I get.
Is there any colors that work? I mean, let's go. Colors, materials. What am I looking at?
Well, Kari, I'm going to leave the color to Kari because Kari is by far the expert.
Green?
It depends on what color. Green.
Okay.
You don't want like booger green.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so light.
There are so many types of green.
That's true.
It really
There's
just
so
depends.
many shades of white.
There are a million shades of white. There are a million shades of gray.
I can show you my stomach.
Yeah.
I'm white as you get.
I'm good.
Okay. I love it. But so, I mean, what kind of colors do you tend to use?
It's totally project specific. So, I mean, we're really, the way that we approach our design is from appealing to whichever demographic we're trying to hit, which obviously involves the whole concept of whatever the space is, whether it's a restaurant or multifamily project or a commercial office or So it just depends on what the space is.
Yeah, and reinforcing their brand, whatever it may be, from a restaurant to an office. That's the key, is understanding that.
I went to Whiskey Cake not too long ago.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Oh, man. I discovered
great
this.
Plano?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
if
cool.
I'm not mistaken, it's owned by the Velvet Taco guys.
It is.
Okay, so it's got
Who
that kind
also own Ida Claire.
There you go. I was amazed at how they used the fixtures and just they used everyday stuff in the kitchen as some type of utilitarian art and I think being very creative like that, it makes the experience. You look around as you're waiting for your food and you're going, oh, I like the way, look what they did with those mason jars. They hung them upside down and they're like lamps now, or light bulbs. That's something you guys work with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a project over in over in Southern Pines,
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina, and we ended up using pennies for a countertop in the main bar, and then we ended up using kind of like that mason jar, but we made them look almost like there was like they captured fireflies, because that was the name of the restaurant.
Holy cow!
We also used like the wooden soup spoons that you see, and we created a screen with those, again reinforcing that whole, it's all about the kitchen and the food experience, and then along with the artwork, colors, textures. I mean, like Kari, I would definitely say, from a color standpoint, she's the expert. I mean, she can see the differences in just a slight difference in hue. For me, I'm more about textures and really funky materials, and thinking about it. Hey, normally we put this on the floor. Can we put it up against a wall or a ceiling? Just all those different things that go into like that experience. That when you guys walk into a place, like, I love this place. I want to hang out here and drink more, or a great condominium complex. Same thing with the multifamily on the apartment side. Is it cool? Do I love being here? Can I see myself living here? Is this who I am?
Good point.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I definitely did it on my latest apartment search. In some of these apartments, I was like, no offense, but you can tell when a man designed them and when a female did it, especially when it comes down to closet space. But even the colors, like, I'm like, why are you deciding on this color for my house? Like, some place had light blue in the apartment. I was like, my stuff doesn't match light blue. It was a new one.
How about countertops? I know maybe I'm getting really too specific here, but
I'm a freak about countertops.
Granite? I mean, space, islands. I mean, what's
Islands, again, you're seeing a lot of units that are totally eliminating a dining space altogether.
Mine doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Really? So where do you eat?
So they do a large
I have
island.
a huge, I wouldn't call it an island. I guess I'd call it a panhandle coming out.
Peninsula.
Yeah,
Peninsula. There we go. Yeah. Peninsula. There's the word I was looking for.
That's the Michigan home desigin team.
We need to hire him.
Michael's very creative. He could probably come up with something.
Yeah, I've been up since 1:30, so we're gonna let that one slide. But the Peninsula, and it's huge. Like, I only have 2 like big oversized bar stools there, and I could probably easily fit 4.
Well, you know what? Even in your homes, I don't use my formal dining area. I don't sit there. I eat in the kitchen at the table, high top table, and usually kids are running around on their skateboards or whatever. So we don't really sometimes even eat together.
And that, when we're going through those design trends, that helps us open up those apartments. It gives you that feeling that the apartment is bigger than really what it is, especially because you have that little 4 top dining area, and you don't use it that often. It's better to have that type of open kitchen, living room, loft style. And
I think in the wintertime, Maddie Lee, when you go to a restaurant or bar and they have some type of rock lava heating element, it just has a good feel, because everyone wants to sit outside when it's crisp and cool and you got the fire. Obviously, that's something that's a must have when you guys design an outdoor space, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Everyone loves fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This goes on Beavis and Butthead dates. We're hanging out this morning with Ernesto Miranda and Kari Walker with WALKER+MIRANDA Design Studio. And so you guys do work all around the country, not just here in Dallas.
Do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How do they get a hold of you? How do they find you?
They can go to our website at www.walkermiranda.com.
How do people find you for gigs, for jobs? Are you just that well known in the industry of being that good?
No, we would love to be even more well known.
I mean,
could always be more well known.
Yeah. Do you remember your first job?
I do.
Yes, that's actually how we started our company off of the very first time. So we had chased after Texas Atlantic Cattle, which one of Kari's original clients when she first started in the industry, and they asked us to go after it, and we were competing against 2 other mid-sized firms with all kinds of employees and everything else, and she had known that I had done some restaurant work together, and we just said, hey, let's give it a shot. And so we it was strange. The way we went through a design process and critiqued each other's work, it was almost like we had worked together for a long time.
It just clicked.
Was perfect.
It just clicked.
Yeah, about 2 weeks later, we got the call in my car, and we just looked at each other like, oh, well, we've got to start a company.
Nice.
That's
I like
the way
that.
it started.
That is neat.
Yeah.
That's how things start.
Yeah.
Starts with a phone call.
That was awesome.
An idea. Let's talk hotels for a second. You guys got a project here in Dallas.
I love some hotels.
Yeah.
Big hotels.
Well, half your life is in a hotel.
Yes.
In a suitcase.
A suitcase. Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Just
If you're staying in some great places, that's not too bad at all.
sometimes I
It
am.
depends
Not
on
all the
which
time.
hotel you're in.
Yeah.
I don't want. I was about to throw out a name. I thought, nah, because they've got some good hotels. I want to.
Yeah.
But let's talk with some of your projects you have here in Dallas.
Well, go ahead. You can talk about the Adolphus.
Yeah, so we're actually teaming with another design firm and working on the Adolphus downtown. So we're on the renovation, and it's going to be quite incredible. It's definitely time for that hotel to have a little facelift.
Yeah, and everything is absolutely changing in that space. From even the front entry to uniforms. Every single thing is being touched in that hotel. So it's going to be pretty remarkable. It should be back to the way it was. I think you and I talked about that the last time I was on.
Yeah,
it was just it's taking a really classic, beautiful hotel that was once the jewel of Dallas. We're bringing it back to what it should be.
What's your favorite hotel, Matty Lou, that you've ever stayed at? That you just were like, wow, that's an experience. I've got 2.
The mansion here, or the Rosewood Crescent.
Yeah, the Crescent. Rosewood
Goodness,
Crescent.
I need a nap. The Ritz is always at the top of my list.
Of course. I mean, you guys are pros. I would imagine you've seen them.
For here, my favorite one is the Jewel.
Okay.
I've heard that a lot.
Okay, I love the pool. If y'all can just get me a pool pass, I just want to go up and jump in the pool. Hey, Michael, have you seen the pool at the Jewel Hotel downtown?
The what hotel?
The Jewel.
Never heard of it.
It's their pool goes out over the building. It's clear, so if you're walking on the sidewalk, you can see people essentially swimming above you.
I may have seen that.
It's way cool.
It's really different.
I'm nervous.
I just want to jump in the pool. So if anybody working at the hotel, please call me.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Great iced coffee at the coffee shop downstairs. I was my agent was in from Houston, and he texted me that he was staying there. He's like, I know you like iced coffee, so come meet me one day. And I went down there, and it was the real deal. How about you, Mary? Kari, I'm sorry, Kari.
Here, probably the Jewel.
The Jewel.
Yeah.
Really?
It's such a great hotel.
Maybe I'm just like old classic tradition.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe
But that's the style, though. I mean, everyone's got different style.
Absolutely.
That's why I love the Adolphus so much.
Like, I love Four Seasons here.
I love the Four Seasons.
Because I love
beautiful.
just the activities that you can do.
Yeah.
And I like the Beverly Hills Wilshire Hotel.
That's classic.
It's classic.
It is
It's
a
historical.
The
Well, if we're
history is
talking about like
amazing.
outside of Dallas.
Okay, well, how about outside of Dallas?
The Plaza in New York.
Okay.
New York.
I've never been to the Plaza in New York. I don't know.
Well, they've got
It is-
Eloise at the Plaza.
That's right.
That's
My favorite.
Yeah.
The presidents used to stay there. They no longer stay there because I think the plaza is now owned by a Chinese company. No, they really
No.
don't.
Oh, really? So they're
Yeah.
like,
It's mostly because of the security, because of the sweeping of listening devices. And
I
everything
can
else.
see that. Okay.
They no longer do that.
Okay.
So
we're talking about worldwide then, or countrywide
gosh.
hotels.
I think for me, it's more along the lines of the hotel brand, like Mandarin.
Okay.
Yes.
They just do an absolutely phenomenal job. The other ones for me are more boutique hotels than
Okay.
anything else. The smaller ones, there's more attention to detail. I think, forget the one from Chicago that we
Lowe's.
loved. Yeah,
Oh,
Lowe's. is
okay.
beautiful.
Let me put
mean-
Lowe's on my list too.
Yeah.
Because I like the Lowe's Chicago Hotel is
It's great.
It's amazing.
But you know who does
the
a
best
really
bed.
good job is the JW Marriott Autograph. Is it the Autograph Collection.
Yeah.
The Saint Hotel in New Orleans. Love that one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the Adolphus is under the autograph collection.
Yep.
Hotel Talk here on
we go.
620 AM. I love it. I could talk about this all day. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll continue our conversation about this. Plus, we'll get into this Pokemon. And if you don't know what Pokemon is, I've got Pokemon 101 and why millennials are becoming addicted. That's coming up after the break. Thank you, Michael, for that soundbite.
No.
It is 7:48.
Hilarious.
$7.52 as we jump into Pokemon 101. And we made a joke the other day about how some businesses just did not want Pokemon on their property. They didn't want people.
Well, they are dumb.
They are dumb because, as we both said earlier, Fox Business had a great article about a pizza place in Chicago that their sales are up 75% because they've incorporated Pokemon into their marketing and business strategy. Now, if you don't know what Pokemon is, here's a little idea. Here's Pokemon 101 according to Fox News.
At 101 level.
It's a free game. You can download it, iOS or Android. If you remember the Pokemon, sort of the whole craze from the 90s, this is all based on that. All the characters, all the ideas. It's an app, and basically you sign in for free, you go through a couple of steps, and then you walk around hunting for Pokemon. Now, the power of this thing is that it uses real maps. It uses real information. So it's connected to sort of these Pokestops and these Poke Centers are with real landmarks. So you walk around the park and one might appear. And then here's the other big thing. It uses what's called augmented reality. So when a Pokemon is around, you can you'll feel a buzz on your phone, and there it is on screen.
And you can see him.
And you could see him. And Michael, you spent some hours last night doing this, right?
Yeah, I spent a good 30-minute walk around the neighborhood by myself after the kids had already gone to bed, and I must have looked like a total weirdo.
Seriously?
But
Yes.
yeah, I had fun doing it. And this is something that I never thought would come back. I was like, after the 90s, I thought this thing is dead. Okay, the card game is still around, but you know what? Card games come and go, and this just weird people play along with that. But I'm telling you, I'm happy that it's an app and that it's not live people dressed up as Pokemon LARPing around the parks.
Yeah, and they're getting exercise. These kids are walking around, but we did learn yesterday that a young boy was struck by a car, walked into a busy street. So, and you had a picture, Michael, before the show of someone with, I guess, Pokemon and driving.
Yeah, it was like a 25-year-old guy with Pokemon and driving, drove himself into a tree.
Yeah.
He's okay, though.
There have been reports of people being naked, the porn industry getting a hold of this. And
Somebody found a dead body.
Somebody found a dead body. So it's
car crashes.
Car crashes. But, I've got an event that I'm a part of next weekend, and I'm really thinking seriously about introducing a Pokemon element to this event. It's a music festival that I'm put on, and I'm thinking, why not? Why not?
$10 to add a Pokemon or something.
Yeah, I'll do that. But it is something that it's a part of our culture now. So, and here's the deal. I read something yesterday from our friends over the SEO dogs. She posted something up that yesterday Pokemon activity and downloads surpassed Twitter and Facebook users. So more people were engaging in Pokemon yesterday than there were on Facebook or Twitter.
That's just
how big is that?
I totally believe that, because when I was over at the park yesterday, I would say 50% of the people there were there to hang out and play football, and the other 50% were walking around with their phones up in front of their faces.
Yes.
Yeah, playing Pokemon.
I
saw it on their screen.
Oh, my son he's in Laguna Beach right now with his cousin, and they're walking around. I'm like, dude, put the phone down, get in the water. It's a beautiful day there in Southern California.
I got so angry the other day. I was walking out of spin class, an actual form of exercise.
Sure.
And I was answering work emails, and someone stopped, and they're like, "Oh, there's not any good Pokemons here." And I just kind of looked at them, and I was honestly offended.
That's really what they
someone thought
you would be playing
that
Pokemon.
I would be playing Pokemon. But then on top of that, I just looked at him, and I was probably quite sassy. I was like, Some of us have actual work to do.
Web is a big place.
And walked away. So
That's great.
That's not me. Is that your?
No, it's Maddie Lou's.
No, it's not. Not me.
It's not. What am I doing?
You guys have your volume on?
Most potential customers.
Yes.
Anyway, there we go.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Well, hey, he wanted to play some audio.
Yes.
But it is definitely something I think we're going to start to see more businesses adapt and bring this in as a marketing element to their. I mean, it's a part of our culture. You don't deny it.
Maddie Lou, I think the person you ran into was definitely not well versed because they used if your quote is correct, Pokemons is not the correct term for the plural. The plural is also Pokemon.
Oh, goodness gracious. What
There we
is
go.
it?
Pokemon. It's the same for singular and plural.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thanks for that clarification there. Okay, we're going to wrap up this hour. I do want to kind of tell you what we want to discuss this next hour. Did you buy anything on Amazon the other day?
I did not.
Okay. Amazon Prime. Did you guys?
Nope.
Nope. Wow. There's and Michael?
No, but I told you the other day when we were talking about this that I was planning on doing it with Walmart, and I found an awesome deal on a computer on Walmart, and I'm about to snatch it up.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so you took advantage of something.
Yeah, I didn't even know what Prime Day was.
Okay, well, it was a record day for Amazon, the amount of money he made. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Stick around. You're listening to 620 AM, KEXP, your experts in business. See you in a few. We've got some other news. We'll get into it in a little bit, but I want to bring in our guest. We've had him on the 7 o'clock hour, and it's just I love this conversation. Ernesto Miranda and Kari Walker from WALKER+MIRANDA Design Studio, and we were having a discussion, and I love it about best hotels, favorite hotels, what makes them great, and the one common theme that I think kind of weaves its way through here is customer service. That's it. Attention to detail.
Yeah, absolutely. Kari?
Yeah, I mean, in any segment, whether it's hotels or multifamily or restaurants, or if you have a good customer service experience, you're way more likely to go back.
I mean, we could talk about the design and how that's a big part of it, right? When you walk in, what you see and what you feel. Experience. But it's that personal touch. And you had a great story you shared last time. And if you don't mind, I'd just real quickly kind of recap that with Virgin.
Yeah, Virgin is one of my favorite lines. Richard does such a great job as an entrepreneur. But when I was traveling up in Chicago, as soon as I got out of the taxi, there was this beautiful redhead, walks up, says, "Hello, Mr. Miranda," walks me all the way through the checking into the hotel, takes me up to the elevator, opens the door to the room, and asks me if there's anything else that she could do to explain what's going on with the room. It's that from the initial street level all the way up. I've never come across any hotel that does that. And it's memorable. You feel like you're a VIP even if you're just Joe Schmo. That's one of the things I love about, a multitude of different hotel lines that take those little touches that make everybody feel special.
Yeah. Now, when you go into a hotel, Kari, you probably have a little bit more of a judgmental eye than what Maddie Lou and I have. What do you look for in a room? Is it the layout of the room? Is it the view? Is it the restroom, bathroom amenities, the shower?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah, and clean.
That's that's a given, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that's a given.
Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, I think just, whether it's a little more modern and updated and the layout of it is awesome. And the view is definitely a big component. Yeah.
For me, it's the bed. I mean, especially when you're traveling, going to sleep on a really bad bed and the next day you're sore. You just don't have that good night's sleep. And I'm glad a lot of the hotel chains are now really investing in great bed and bedding.
I can't remember.
Pillows.
Pillows.
I love the assortment of types of pillows too.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
Well, see, there you go.
Like you get the squishy and the firm, and you can make your own.
How about the ones that just feel like they're mold inside? You push them forward, and they just kind of
Zaza has those.
Yeah.
It's great.
I want to say the Hotel Derrick in Houston has
great hotel.
Great hotel has some great pillows and like 1,000 of them on the bed.
Yeah.
God bless those maids. They got to put those beds together.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a chore. Okay, so I want to get into the projects that we're seeing here in Dallas. So, you go in Uptown. Maddie Lou lives in Uptown. I used to live in Uptown. There's a ton of projects going on. We're going to talk about that and what's going on with Dallas. There's so many cranes. That's good. That's money in your pocket. 8:14. Stick around. We've got more. DFW Business Today coming up. Stay with us. Okay, this will make day 3 that I have talked about Starbucks every single day. Now, we went back and we talked about Starbucks was giving their employees a raise, anywhere from 5 to 15%, depending on your position, but depending on how long you've worked for the company. The very next day, Starbucks comes out and says, oh, wait a minute. We're going to raise the prices of our products at least 20 cents on 65% of our menu, which I thought to myself, that's kind of bad timing. You come out one day and you say, we're going to give our employees a raise, but the next day you go, I'm going to raise the price of our coffee. But now they've come out, day 3, Starbucks plans to a new upscale chain. It's called Starbucks Reserve. And it's going to offer premium coffee, obviously, smaller reserves in those coffees. So it's going to be kind of an intimate, limited time only type, which I can't understand why they would say we only have a limited amount of coffee in this particular type of coffee. I don't understand that, but it will be an upscale version of what we know today as Starbucks, and I'll bring in our experts on the show that know all about that. Ernesto Miranda and Kari Walker with WALKER+MIRANDA Design Studio. Okay, so what's your thoughts on this? Are we trying to slowly bring in a more sophisticated customer? Are we trying to raise our average ticket up? Are we trying to make the overall experience going to a Starbucks better?
Yeah, I mean, you look at what they've done with the design there. There's certain aspects of it actually that revert back to the whole craft cocktail.
Okay,
it's almost identical, except you're doing it with coffee. Just the way the spaces are designed, you see a lot of the same details as you would like in a really upscale brew pub. Being able to see the lines being extended from the back of house to the bar itself, you're seeing the authenticity of the product.
They plan on opening hundreds of locations starting up next year. I will say this: the Starbucks at the Park Lanes, the shops at Park Lanes. Mm-hmm. It's a freestanding standalone.
Lots of glass.
You like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Green space in front.
Green space in front.
Little water.
You feel like an indoor-outdoor.
Indoor-outdoor. Mm-hmm. That's one of the first stores of that kind in this area, and it quickly it's become a very popular. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a drive-to destination in a way.
Yeah.
You go there for the coffee, even though there's shopping around you, but you go there really for the experience. Some of the projects that you guys have been involved with here locally. Let's name drop some places that you guys have had a part in constructing.
I know, again, one of our first was doing the redesign for Texas Land and Cattle. That was pretty exciting. We took a really tired brand and really reinvented at least the certain stores that they ended up remodeling. The ownership has gone through a couple of changes on that, so that whole, the way it should have been released was not able to happen. But that was certainly one that was one of our favorites because it was one of our first when we first started our company. So that was probably one of the better ones that we've had. I'm trying to think of whatchamacallit, down in Lower Greenville.
Oh, Clark.
Yes.
Clark Food and Beverage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a great
I like
little,
HD Supply, and
it's right down the street.
It's right next.
there.
Yeah, couple doors down from that.
Yeah.
But kind of same concept. He actually has a couple of his recipes from his mom. He tends to do a lot of different types of
the food's great.
Yeah, and meats.
Charcuterie.
Yeah, ostrich, buffalo. The meatballs there are fantastic. Along
He
with
smokes. He smokes a lot of his own meat, and he does some amazing.
I'm just gonna
meatballs
text you all for like date night recommendations.
Perfect.
You know what?
Or like girls'
We
night.
love
Like,
that.
We need to get
because I'm so bad. I'm not kidding. All my friends, the running joke, because I've only lived here for, I'm going on year 2 in Dallas. And I'm from Atlanta, and I spend probably around 30 weeks a year traveling. I can get anywhere if it's in relation to a me casina, and I don't branch out.
Like which
so
location?
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, which make us
That's a good quote.
Either Uptown or
Yeah.
Highland Park Village.
Okay, what do you get on the menu? Just curious.
Rico salad, Ricardo style.
Yep.
That's a good dressing.
Spicy blue cheese.
Yeah, that's a good dressing.
Wow,
Yeah.
like it.
Mambo taxis. I prefer the third floor of Highland.
See, she's really detailed
Yeah.
on what she likes. There's a lot of construction cranes around Dallas, which is money.
Yes, we love cranes.
Yeah, for everyone. That's
For everyone.
the nice thing about it, both from architectural firms to designers to developers. They love seeing those cranes. Construction companies, all of our consultants, extremely busy. All of our MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers, everybody's so busy right now and loves seeing that, especially here in Dallas.
In the multi-use, commercial, residential, that's a trend, and that's just a trend, not just a trend here, right? That's the trend across country.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you were mentioning earlier, I think California was one of the very first ones that kind of started that trend because of that both live, work, play,
right?
As Kari was talking about earlier today, that lifestyle that everybody's wanting to emulate.
Now, the shops of legacy have been very successful.
Yes, very.
Very busy. Every time you go down there, there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, they're doing that second right across the street from it, Shops Legacy West, I think it is.
My goodness. And then combined with all of the
Jerry's World right up the street,
which, by the way, was listed as the most profitable, most valued franchise. Sports.
Yeah,
$4 billion. The guy bought for $124 million, valued at $4 billion. He's a smart guy.
That's nice.
Yeah. If I bought it, it would be worth $10,000 probably now. I would have ran the franchise in the ground. But this development, you're starting to see, are more and more cities and developers thinking we want this multi-use model in our communities?
Yeah, I think so. One of the things that I know in some of the conversations I've had with some of the other real estate people I know is you've got to be really careful on just doing it. You can't just plop it down anywhere. It's got to be accessible easily accessible from major thoroughfares. There's also, a lot of times you're seeing some of the areas being developed out of the old kind of big box style developments. They're thinking right now, if let's say an exit strategy, basically, if this doesn't work, how can I reallocate that space? Before it was just a big building with a little bit of retail down below, and if it didn't work, you're stuck with a big building. So now you're seeing a lot of that. Can we convert these apartments into condominiums and sell them off? A variety of different kind of exit strategies that developers are also looking at.
But from what I've seen, I don't think there's a shortage of people renting the apartments or commercial business and moving in.
No,
especially not in Dallas. Yeah, I mean, when you have large companies like Toyota moving to the area, you're not going to have much of a shortage. And
you see very few for lease signs in some of these buildings, like the space is occupied. And we've had some experts on the show that talked about what businesses fit that model, because sometimes the cost per square foot tends to be a little higher. And certain products, you just can't make that margin to justify paying that much in rent. So you see, you see some retail, higher end retail that may have some margin on it. I'm sure you know all about that, Manny Lou. You like to shop?
I do like to shop.
Restaurant is it, man. I'm up in the air on. It really depends on what it is. Being a restaurant guy, it's a busy restaurant doesn't necessarily mean a profitable restaurant at all. Just because it's busy doesn't mean they're making money.
Correct.
So, but that seems like, you go down McKinney, it's the Fat Rabbit just opened up, remodeled that place. Across the street, you have a new apartment, high rise going in. The Whole Foods building, full, busy. You go there all the time.
I do.
Yep. There's definitely not a shortage of that. So let's talk design for a second. I'm going to put my designer hat on, Maddie Lou, if I can.
Okay.
It might mess up my hair, but that's okay. What do you look for? Where do you start? Do you just have this discovery meeting with your clients?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just kind of, sit down and kind of figure out what their goals and objectives are and really design a product to meet those.
So is it just to change maybe the overall look and feel, or is it? I mean, what's their motivation? The business down, they want to, kind of reinvent themselves?
It could be. I know on the multifamily side, taking, lower brands, Class C and Class B, and upgrading them to Class A. That's a big thing right now of the way they're looking at demographics and how the demographics are changing throughout the city and where we can get a higher rentable rate, and then what it takes to get there, compared to other new developments. That's the tough thing with some of the developers looking at a brand new complex that's just been done. So you're getting all the cool modern amenities, but then you've got this other kind of tired old apartment complex. How do you bring that up?
Yeah, how do you bring that up? And Maddie, you brought up a great point when you were looking for apartments, and you guys confirmed this. The space inside is getting a little smaller. The closets are getting a little smaller. And they're allocating more square footage to more of your outside, or at least your living room, I guess. Your sliding
amenities.
Yeah. Restrooms as well. How big is your restroom in your apartment?
It's pretty big.
It is?
Yeah. Counter space is really important to me in my bathroom. Okay. Just because you got to spread the makeup and the curling irons and the blow dryer and everything out all over the counter.
Yeah. Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah,
That's what people want.
Yeah, I mean, you design the kitchens and bathrooms very similar to how you would in a typical home. Mm-hmm. You design kitchens and bathrooms to function.
My kitchen is huge. Like I almost wish they had taken away some of my kitchen and somehow made that a bigger closet. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think with some of the remodels that are taking place, you're seeing a lot more of focus on the clubhouses themselves, to almost identical to like the whole mixed use thing. You have this central gathering location of all the tenants that can use it for a variety of different ways. A lot of people work from home. That area is kind of like becoming that Starbucks, but a lot quieter. You've got all those different amenities around you. You're not there just by yourself in your pajamas. Of course, you can still do that, but I think that might be a little odd when you're in the clubhouse. Just chilling out.
Yeah, but which, by the way, today is National Naked Day, Nude Day to be exact.
It's
nude.
a national something every day.
I know.
Like today, I'm going to make tomorrow National Matty Lou Day.
Okay, well, let's do that. It's 8:30. We'll continue our conversation with our friends over at Walker. This is pretty funny. I can't even. I just had a visual just now of that. Okay, we'll continue our conversation with our friends in the studio. Plus, what states do people work in that they hate their jobs the most? There's a survey out that tells you what states people are the most unhappy at work. I'll have that straight ahead. Stay with us. All right, we're back in the studio. Ernesto Miranda and Kari Walker with Walker Miranda Design Studio. And I love the conversations about architecture and design, the thought process that goes into all these nice, wonderful buildings that we all enjoy being in. But it all comes down to customer service. And we say that a lot on this show about making the customer feel special, make them feel like a VIP. Even if you are a Joe Schmo or you're a Brian Glenn, you walk in there and they want to bum rush you out the door. That's usually what happens when I go to places. There's no special treatment for me. But customer service is huge. Of all the companies that you've worked for, I mean, give me some examples that's really stood out. We talked in the break about having free Wi-Fi is huge. When you go to a hotel, free Wi-Fi, free parking is huge. How about
free parking is almost like unheard of.
Unheard of.
Let's throw this out there. Free happy hour between 5 and 7.
That'd be great.
Actually, they do that with Virgin over in Chicago.
They do.
Yeah.
Embassy Suites, I feel like, used to do something like that.
They don't any longer?
I haven't been to one in a while.
Okay, because my parents always stayed at NBC Suites because you had the free the breakfast was legit in the morning. The free breakfast was legit.
Yeah. I love the free happy hour. I actually took advantage of that when I was up there with a couple of the vendors that we were working with, rather than go out and spend a ton of money. hey, come over. We've got 2 hours of free drinking.
And when they
fantastic.
get 2 hours of free drink, I like the way you put
Can
that.
you beat that?
No, you can't.
No,
you can't. Oh, just like when a hotel, like I love a Hampton Inn. Let me just tell you something. If you're traveling and I got 3 kids and it's like, okay, I can't afford to stay. You know, you just got to be, you're budget minded. You can't go wrong with Hampton Inn because they do have the free breakfast in the morning. Now, granted, it's not at Embassy Suites. Make your custom eggs as you want. Free breakfast, but it is a free breakfast and there's a value to that. It's probably a $35, $40 value of free breakfast. I was at the last time I was at Hotel Derrick. They had the free happy hour, but it was very limited. It was a bowl of punch. It's like fruit punch. It was like, seriously, it was a guy in the lobby standing by a gigantic crystal bowl of punch, and he would spoon it out for you. The only thing I figured out what that did was that eliminate the number of times I kept going back because I had to face this guy of pouring me a drink. And I was a little embarrassed after like 5. I finally, kicked in. And the 6th one, I didn't care anymore. I just kept going. But customer service, it's all about the experience.
Yeah. Hotel Emma down in San Antonio, they give you a free margarita when you check in the
look
evening.
At that.
I like that.
And their margaritas are
so good.
So good because they're made with fresh limes, and you can definitely taste it. So it definitely made me want to go order another margarita.
Okay.
Yep. It would
Sign me up.
make me do the same thing.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about this colors. What is there a color that's trending right now in the hotel industry or restaurant?
I think it just depends on your demographic and what, we're trying to achieve. So, just really focusing on the brand of whichever restaurant or hotel or any space we design. We think about how you incorporate the brand into it, which a lot of times drives color.
And then also incorporating non-traditional fixtures.
Yeah,
Elements.
materials. Materials are so key. Yeah, textures. The approach really, is almost a layering effect, basically. You start off with, initially you're walking through the door, whether it's an apartment or condo, first thing you want to see is big windows and all that light coming through.
Okay, so windows is one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sunlight. Okay.
Yeah, natural sunlight really for almost every single industry, I would say is right. Obviously not for a radio station because,
I wish we could see this sunlight sometimes.
I know it'd probably be nice if you could see traffic, going by, but for the most part, it's really just more of a layering effect of different interesting textures and materials that you see across whatever space you're walking in.
Audio. Do you have natural water flowing? If there's a water element, that's great. Or do you mix in some of the, like a wind chime? Or is there an audio element in all of this?
Yeah, on the hotel side, I don't know if you want to take that or not.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
You think about how much music plays a role in the experience you have in any environment.
Yeah, I think so, especially like on the hotel side. It sets the mood. Immediately, whether you're walking into the mansion. Your mansion is known for having a little jazz quartet in the back. Or,
I love a piano.
Yeah.
A soft piano.
I love a piano
yeah.
too.
Or, if you go to the Chicago Athletic Club, you've got some great, lounge, European music playing in there. You just feel cool as you're walking in there. So it really sets the stage, I think, for what type of environment you're going to be in. Same thing with restaurants. It's the exact same thing. Whereas office now, it's kind of different. It's both. You want to have that kind of quiet environment, but at the same time, you want to have those different areas that have that activity happening as well. So, but I think audio is
a social element incorporated into them.
How busy are you guys right now?
Yeah, we were just having that
you tapped out on
yesterday.
projects?
No.
Oh, let's make that perfectly. Well, she didn't think about that at all, did she?
I don't think you'll ever have a design firm that says that they're tapped out on projects.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just having that conversation yesterday of we've gotten a couple of inquiries just this week and trying to figure out, okay, so we've got multiple deadlines going on right now as it is, and how we're trying to handle that. We're interviewing people and just the usual expansion of a small firm, business. So
if you get if you know that you'll be bidding on a project for his contract. Do you go visit the facility and walk around and, sunglasses and a hat and just kind of make notes there?
Yeah, it's been a while since we actually were put in a kind of competition or bid situation.
Nice.
One of the difficulties that we had initially, and I think some design firms still go through this, but having people, you need to show me what you can do.
Wow.
That was always a big thing. And we made the mistake of saying, okay, we have to do this for the project to see if we can get it. There's a lot of man hours that go into what we do. Pulling materials, getting image shots.
I could see that.
There's quite a bit that goes into it. So, like, if as a firm you invest that time, you don't get the project, that's lost revenue right there. And how do you exit that from your bottom line? So a lot of times, unless if it's like a big project like architectural firms like Gensler, they'll chase after some really massive projects, $100 million projects. That makes sense. But for us, normally we really don't do that. Our website kind of stands for itself in regards to the type of work that we do. And again, it answers that question immediately. That's why, with our website, you see, do you like Pulp Fiction? I think it's a good way of us interviewing a client as well, because we need to have that interaction with them and relax. And this is who we are as a design firm. This is our personalities. And if it's not going to work out, then there's no reason for us to be, your design firm. There's
Absolutely.
plenty of others that
contact information for you guys if you're listening to this show and you're like, you know what, my place needs an overhaul. I need a fresh start. I need a new look, or you've got a new business venture. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
It's going to be www.WALKER+MIRANDA.com, or you can also reach me at 214-680-7202.
There you go. Love it. I want you guys to stick around if you can. After the break, I've got a survey. Which states are the people the most unhappy at?
Well, is it just unhappy with their job?
Unhappy with their job. They're mad. They don't want to go to work.
Because I feel like depending on where you live, that can also affect if you're happy with your job.
There's a lot of factors going involved. We'll take a look at that after the break. Stick around. All right, let's jump right into Tesla reveals a cheaper Model X SUV. And I've been very open on this show and said as soon as Tesla comes out with a cheaper version of what they do, I'm all over it. But I will still say even this $66,000 model, it probably needs to come down a little bit more before I'm a buyer on this. But the Tesla Model X60D will start at $74,000, but when you take off that $7,500 federal tax credit that you get, it comes out to $66,500. It's a great looking vehicle. Maddie Lou, would you be a Model X? Are you a Tesla fan at all?
Yes, I want a Tesla. I just don't have $90,000.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
This would be the perfect alternative.
I'm completely with you, guys. Ernesto, Kari, big Tesla fans? Yeah, I am too.
Designed very well.
There you go, design.
Yes. The design.
I've always, I was impressed. If you go to a Tesla store at North Park, you can send in one of those. Great. I mean, I love it. I mean, you can tell that the design person was in there and they did it first, and then they went to like an engineer where he just said, "Okay, make this design work." Yeah. The design came before the function. Yeah. I guess you could say.
Tesla does such a great job. That's really what the basis of their brand is the design that goes into the actual car. Porsche does the same thing. I think they have their own sound engineer that they make sure that when you turn that car on, it sounds exactly the same, and that feeling that you get.
Yes. Land Rover does an excellent job with their Range Rover line as far as they've had actually designers that are in the nautical industry design the dash with the woods and the grains and the lines. I'm a big Land Rover fan, so I study this way too much. But yeah, so there you go. So Tesla, let me see if I have a launch date on this new model. Don't see it here, but if I find September. We'll start to deliver cars in September. Okay, survey that's on CNBC. Okay, and as you dig deeper into this, you go, okay, when you find out what they base it on. But the top 10 states where workers hate their jobs the most. Now, Michael, we are not on this list. We love our jobs, for the record.
Yeah.
I think Texas not being on the list has something to do with no state income tax.
That's probably true. But tons of people across the United States don't like their job. That's just the way. It's a fact of life. You know, if we can all win the lotto and sit at home and eat Cheez-Its and Doritos on our beanbag and watch Montel Williams, maybe we do that.
I love my job.
But I do too. But a lot of people would rather just retire. Well, Monster, not the energy drink, the website, and a company called Brandwatch recently mapped out the states with the most unhappy workers. They combined that by doing it with 2 million tweets that included negative mentions of hashtag hate my job is awful, and also with the other ones, I love my job. So they try to find out what states have the most I hate my job. Coming in on the list, here's the states that topped I hate my job: Michigan, Virginia, West Virginia, New Jersey, Ohio, Maryland, Louisiana, Florida, Connecticut, and Delaware. Now, they all have in common, with the exception of Louisiana, they're mostly East Coast states for the most part. And Ohio's Mid-Atlantic, or Rust Belt almost. Do you think weather comes into this, Matty Lou?
I think it absolutely comes into this. If you're schlepping into your job in all the snow, you're not going to like it.
I would agree with you, Ernesto.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally agree.
You know, cloud cover, it goes back to the whole natural sunlight thing.
Designer.
They found that it really does bring you down. I mean, it's the reason why you created that natural sunlight bulb, to be able to hopefully make you happy.
Yeah.
Not good for pictures, though.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Kari, you agree on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it. When you see states like Michigan, obviously, Michael, you're from that area. It's northern. It's extremely cold in the wintertime.
Yep.
And it's got to suck when you get up and you have to scrape and de-ice and.
No, they're used to all that stuff, but the incidence of depression up there because of the darkness is high, just like in a lot of those northern states. That could have something to do with it. Then the fact that the auto industry kind of got vacuumed out of there.
It's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
When you look at,
I'm getting depressed just thinking.
Actually, you know what's funny? You just took the words.
Then there's Flint, but there's a whole section of Michigan that most Michiganders don't want associated with Michigan. They'd rather just throw it to Ohio. You know. So
gotcha. Well, that's why Ohio's on the list too. Maybe they're depressed because Michigan's crapping on them.
You know what?
That's probably what it is.
I bet you if they had more
Bringing their
Pokemon
negativity.
there, that would probably improve.
Yes,
the Pokemon will
now
improve.
Florida's on this list, and I was in the break.
Of course,
Florida's on the list. You know, and any kind of crazy story.
Yeah, we talked about our favorite game to play with the crazy story.
You read a
You don't
headline.
even have to read it.
You
It's
don't.
the headline. Florida or not?
Florida or not? Man cuts off penis with chainsaw.
Florida.
Probably Florida. But they're on the list as well. And I have a theory on this. Florida is a mix of cultures. It is everyone that's pissed off from the Northeast. They escape the Northeast to go down to Florida. And then you have a combination of a gazillion retirees.
South America, and you have all the South.
I didn't even get into the cultures yet. You're right.
Crazy Latin people.
Okay, I wasn't even going to go the Latin way, Ernesto.
I'm okay,
but
I'm here. I can say that. So.
On behalf of the Latin people, you can say that. Yeah. I wouldn't even go on that way, actually, but that, you bring up a good point. Because if you go down to Miami, it's just like no one speaks English down there.
Correct.
True.
And a lot of people can get
The
pissed off.
airport goes in Spanish before it goes in English, like the loudspeaker.
Yeah.
In Miami. Mm-hmm. Fun fact of the day.
Tu quieres ser mi novia? That's the only thing I know. You want to be my girlfriend. But I could see you have a mix of older retirees, young. There's a lot of toll roads in Florida, and there's a lot of toll roads here in North Texas too. But there's a list. Now, where the happiest people at work? They're sitting at 6400 North Beltline Road in Irving, Texas, at Salem Communications, and they're also in Montana.
I love Montana.
Idaho.
Goes a ranch.
Well, there's hardly any people there. So
that's true too.
They don't have to
that
deal
helps
with people.
when you have to.
That
deal
does help.
with
You're right.
people,
You're right. California tends to be happier than most states. Alaska, happier than most states.
Okay.
Here's what's really interesting. Hawaii is on that border of not liking my job. It's not to hate
Stressful.
yet. Stressful. We vacationed there twice, and I when I was a little kid, I believe me, I didn't pay for it. But the food's terribly expensive.
Yes.
And
have
I
to
can
ship
imagine
everything
trying to
in.
feed a family.
Yeah, they got to ship everything in, literally.
On this list, looks like Tennessee's pretty happy too. People in Tennessee like their jobs. I can see that.
Sing and drink.
Sing and drink. Country music. Well, country music's well. Here you go. Country music's very positive.
Well, no, I don't know about that sometimes.
Well, it's a lot of. It's very patriotic. A lot of it is very much. I love myself.
Don't get me wrong. I love Nashville. I'll be there in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But
There you go. Well, we certainly appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Yes, y'all are lots of fun.
You guys were a joy. It really was.
And
a
I'm not
great
kidding.
conversation. I'm not either.
I
You
will
guys
be
went to the
texting
restroom.
you for girls' night and date night
Please do.
suggestions because Miko, I love you, but
Sometimes you need
it's
a
not
break.
you, it's me.
And I learned
my
that
dad's
girl.
listening, and
Change is good.
Yeah,
I know.
The girl needs variety.
my poor dad, he's listening as he does every Thursday. Every time he comes in town, that's the only place we go. And he finally
that's sad.
admitted the other day that maybe it wasn't his favorite. So, Dad, for you, I'm branching out.
Yes, and the Grove. What was it? I'm looking for on my Facebook page. The place we talked about. Tom
Cedar
Brady.
Social.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. The Cedar Social.
Cedar Social. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great place.
So cool.
They do it right over there.
Great drinks.
Great drinks. It's been fun.
Yeah,
Fun
that's
topic.
fun.
I want to have you guys back on because we love the growth that we're seeing here in North Texas, and obviously the mixed use is a popular model, if you want to call it a model, I guess, for development. And I'm glad that you guys are a part of it, and you're making Dallas great again. I did not just steal Mr. Trump's line.
About to say.
I know, I just said that.
How about make Texas a country again?
Ooh, I like that. Make Texas a country again. I like that. All right. We will check in with next week as we get ready for the GOP convention in Cleveland. I have my own personal correspondent that will be there on the convention floor.
That's going to be fun.
And he had to turn over all his social media handles and all this stuff, too. It was really government had to check them out. Wow. And I'm like, I would never pass that test. And the smell check for me would go off real quick. But anyway, we'll check in with that all during the week. So when you hear a great speech, chances are we're going to have it here in the morning. Thanks for joining us. Maddie Lou, have a great week. Ernesto, Kari, have a great week. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Have a good day.